can be only one podcast, and may it be the Prince of the Universe. Hi, folks. I'm Matt.
And I'm back for 2 in a row, baby.
Ooh, 2 in a row.
See if we can make 3.
Oh, yeah, we'll try 3. Hey, so we're continuing on where we left off last week about shows and movies that we've seen lately. And there's been a lot. There's been a lot to catch up with.
Not really, but there's been some.
Well, yeah, there's been some. The only movie I've seen in theaters this year is Quiet Place 2.
Same here, only one.
Only one, okay.
The only movie I've seen since Dora the Explorer.
I can't believe you. Do you want me to scrub that out? So, first off, the first movie, absolutely loved. Absolutely loved. Thought was fantastic. Blown away. Super excited when they talked about Quiet Place 2. At first, I thought it was a prequel based off the trailer.
You get a little bit.
And then it heard a prequel sequel thing. I was like, okay, all right. I'm interested because I love that world.
But you're Matt. And
no, there's nothing new. It's the
yeah.
same world. It's just like they thought, hey, you know a bunch of cool scenes we didn't film? Let's put those in now.
Well, the thing is,
follows the same arc as the first one.
Overall, I liked it. I did like it. But
it's
yes,
okay.
It is lacking. They do not play with sound like they did with the first one. The first one was very creative in how it did things. This one was repeating it, not being innovative.
And there's a little contradiction in it, if you want to be picky, but only because they made a big deal out of it. In the first one, he's trying to find who are these aliens? How can we defeat them? Where's their weakness? Remember his little workshop? And he's looking at newspaper clippings, and there's one, that the newspaper spots one. It says, they hunt by sound and whatnot. Okay, when did that newspaper come out? Because on day one, they immediately went into hiding. They immediately got grounded. Everyone was getting slaughtered on day one. When did the newspaper have time to run this?
Day 2, obviously.
Everyone was dead. So it was kind of weird that they kind of rushed it. I was into prequel. I like the scene. And by the way, this is all spoilers. I like the scene in the ballpark with the meteor. That's cool. But I thought we were going to gradually. I wanted more of the prequel. We gradually see people start disappearing.
That was kind of the better part.
Well, like really loud noises attract them, not regular sound. But really, they go after the really loud noises first, then later on. But see, people start disappearing in the town. Things start happening. You have the old farmer running his loud tractor, running something super loud, generator. And then, boom, it gets attacked. It's like, what's going on? Then he gets hit. And we don't... It's like Tremors, It slowly grows on you where they're trying to figure it out. And then suddenly, they just start attacking the town. Like they immediately did once the first meteor landed.
And I did think that Dad figured out pretty quick that sound was the key. I was like,
They run into
Did you watch the first movie?
They run into the bar, and then they all go, shh.
Which you would have done naturally, but...
Yeah, but how would you know? But they obviously knew it was sound already. I mean, we knew, the audience knew. But see, I was also hoping that you would show the gradual decline of their society. I wanted to see someone with the idea of making the sand paths. Them figuring out that sand was a safe way to travel. I wanted to see stuff like that. You
didn't get that.
I wanted to see more. Well, that would have been interesting. That would have been something different, something we didn't know how the world came to be. And then the last half hour, maybe hour, focus on them now. Because obviously they know what their weakness is, but no, we just do it on a bigger scale this time. So... it doesn't advance the world at all. It doesn't show us anything new in the world at all. Just puts us in different situations about sound. And I was like, okay, but it doesn't advance. And I know they're going to make a third because it makes the second one made money. So you got to print that money machine, keep it going. But to be honest, I'm not going to watch the third one in theaters. I'm going to wait till it comes out.
Yeah, I went to the theaters just because I remember the unique way they used silence in the theater.
I loved
did not
how
have
they
that.
did that. I remember Megan told me, she said after 30 minutes of watching this film, she went, I just realized there's no music. There's no music. It's just quiet. She went, and she said, I've been engaged this whole time. Like she just been intrigued, and you were. This time you're not. And this time he goes, you can talk. These walls are concrete. Why? Yeah, because they're tired of the whole quiet stuff. So now, it's not really a quiet... It should say Not So Quiet Place. That's what it should have been called as the sequel. Because not many people are quiet. They find the island where you can be as loud as you want. You can party. And we got to see another weakness of the creatures. Okay. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. I was just disappointed. I wanted to see more of
Spoiler:
that
their
world.
weakness is water. Rip off of another great movie.
That is a great movie. What movie is that?
Signs.
Signs. Oh gosh, I know people make fun of that movie, but I do love that movie.
Rachel wants to go see his new movie.
What's his new movie? Old?
Whatever it is, but it looks pretty bad.
Where they're on the beach and they're aging really fast. Yeah. It's called Old.
It looks like The Happening might be happening again.
It does look bad. I'll eventually watch it.
Yeah, I've watched all his movies. Even his bad movies are bad in very interesting ways.
Actually, his worst movie to me was Lady in the Water.
No, The Happening is pretty terrible. But at the same time, I've seen it like 5 times.
Oddly enough, well, I've only seen it once, but I enjoyed The Happening.
The thing is, it's terrible, but at the same time, it's so interestingly bad.
It's interesting. I was interested. I get that the premise is kind of dumb.
And it's not just that. It's like everything about it. The acting is like the worst. It's like all these actors giving their worst performances.
Like I said, for me, it was Lady in the Water. That one I just couldn't
really
get into.
want to go back and watch that one again, just because
but The Happening was. I haven't rewatched it to be fair, but The Happening was like I watched. What's the No Place Like Home? The one where they go to their grandparents and the grandparents are acting all weird, walking around naked.
Yeah, that was good. I like that one.
Babbling. That was fun. What's that called? Home Sweet Home or something?
No. The Visit.
The Visit. Yeah.
The thing is,
great.
that was him coming back before going back into.
Devil
Split.
was really good.
Well, Devil he produced. He didn't really make that.
Okay. Never mind. But see, I like The Village. I love The Village. People make fun of The Village. I love The Village though. And of course, Unbreakable and.
Thing is, most people don't believe me when I say I went into The Village thinking it was modern day, and that it was just people that were ostracized. And
you did?
Yes, I assumed that going in. I don't know why the trailers made me think that. And
That's
so
weird.
the big reveal was everybody was like, "Oh, it's modern day." I was like, "Yeah, obviously it was because
I didn't know that, but I was into that. I watched that again, and I still enjoyed it. So that one's still solid. Of course, Split is probably one of his best.
One of his best. That's really good.
And because James
McAvoy did a
I hate James McAvoy,
job.
but he is unbelievable. That's the only movie that he's unbelievable in. And he's a good actor. He definitely showed it. But I did not want to see that. Megan wanted to see that movie. I don't like James McAvoy, and I thought all the different personalities are going to be him just showing off. It's going to be a comedy in a way. Just him trying to pretend to be an actor. No, he got into every character. It was completely different from the other one, and it was really good. It was really good. That may be one of his. Well, I don't know. I like Unbreakable, and of course, I love Sixth Sense. Those are really good too. He's done some. For the most part, he makes great films. Unless there's other things I've forgotten about. Was there other movies?
Glass. The
Glass was fine. Glass was kind of.
It was a little let down, but it was okay.
It was a letdown, but yeah, it was okay. It wasn't his worst. It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad, but it was not with the two movies.
I would watch Happening again. I would.
I mean, Rob recommended it. Rob recommended watching it again. It's terrible.
But you recommend it for the wrong reason.
Exactly. It's like one of the most interestingly bad movies ever made. It's like, why did he do that?
What else has he done?
Why does he keep doing this thing?
He's done other films. I just can't think of them now.
He's got a couple TV series.
Okay, never mind then. I never watched the TV series.
Yeah,
but so I wanted to talk about some other ones that I saw. I didn't know, and I talked to you about this. The Forever Purge came out. I enjoyed the Purge movies. They're one and dones for me, but I've always enjoyed them. Megan does not like them. She refuses to watch them now. It's too scary for her. So I think the Purge is fun. The Purge Forever.
She's just mad that it's not happening in real life.
Yeah, I know. Because she would love to purge. She would love to purge. I know who she'd purge to. So I'd have to stay at your house.
The thing is, I've not seen the movies, but I'm up on all the spoilers for them. And one of the complaints I have heard about people talk about the movies is like, in the world of the Purge, there would be no divorce.
No, there wouldn't. No, there wouldn't. The world of the Purge, there would be no divorce.
Okay, let's just wait till next year.
and to be honest, the very beginning of it is fun. 20 minutes of it is fun. They kind of show the Purge. They show a little bit what happens afterwards, which is fun. And so there's some fun stuff there. And then, of course, they have the idea that people don't stop purging now. They don't want to stop. And that's interesting. That's really cool. So, now they can't control the crowd. Everyone's purging again. So it's a forever purge. And so everyone's still going at each other. They don't return back to a civilized world anymore. That's interesting. But... preachy. So you could tell this was about the whole "we hate them foreigners" and this is what the world is like, and we need to stand up against hate. They actually said that at the end, and you're going, "Oh, it's preachy, got it." But the thing is, though, the show just never got, because it was kind of funny because Mexico opens its borders for Americans to flee the forever purge. So you're trying to get across the border to Mexico because it's so great over there, and so I mean, the thing is, though, all of it is just it's slow. And I love the purge. I've loved every purge, and I want to purge, meaning watch a movie. And this is the worst one. This is the worst one. Like I said, it started really great, had a great idea, and then got really boring, and then preachy, boring and preachy.
They're saying PureFlix took over and produced a Purge movie.
Oh boy, yeah, it's not good. But before that, I didn't know they did a Purge TV show. I never knew that. I don't know how I missed it, and it came on USA.
Yep.
And it was just for 2 seasons, 2018, 2019. And it right before the pandemic didn't cancel it. It canceled itself. The second season didn't get the viewers. And so they had to cancel it. And I watched it, and I'd heard so things on this. Have you seen or heard anything about it?
I've not seen anything.
Okay. I told you a little bit about this last time we talked, but the season 1 basically just says it's 12. I think they're each 10 episodes each, and for 10 episodes they show you one whole night of the purge from several different people's perspectives. Okay, and eventually all their storylines tie together in the end. Fine. There's a few moments you kind of want to, if you were watching on a DVD, you'd want to fast forward through because it's kind of boring. But it drug a little bit for 10 episodes, but otherwise it kept your interest. I think Alec Baldwin's in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Goodness.
Or maybe one of the Baldwins. It was a thin Baldwin.
Not Alec.
Okay, it's not him. It was one of the Baldwins then. But it was fun. You know, it was fun. I was like, okay, that was all right. I'll be honest though, if this is what they're going to do for season 2, give us another whole night just with different characters. I didn't like any of the. There was not a character I really was into. Like I said, I cheer for that character. I follow that character. Most of them were just blah. You know, they tried to make you care. Well, I think that was everyone watching it because it's obvious they had it set up for maybe we'll use these people again. But when the critic response came out and viewers, they probably just weren't invested in it. And they said, okay, we'll switch things up. Boy, season 2. You don't have to watch season 1. Season 1's fine, but season 2 is unfriggin' believable. It's so good. It shows you what happened the last 2 hours of the purge.
The last 2 hours of the night?
The last 2 hours of the night, and that's only on the first episode. The rest of it is the day after the purge. What happens after the purge?
Oh, no, what is the world like?
That is super interesting. Every character besides maybe one, and he's okay, but all the characters are super interesting. All right, you ready? Here's the plot points. I won't tell you how they go. There's a doctor and his wife, and they're just enjoying the evening, locked in their house. Someone tries to break in, but it's okay because the husband leads him out, of the house, and has another guy, Gunt, who was just shooting anyone who ran the street. The doctor hid, and the guy got hit by the spotlight, and they shot that guy who was trying to kill him. And then he waited till the sound came, and then came out of hiding, and he went up to the guy who'd killed him and was like, released his mask. Didn't know who he was, and then grabbed it doesn't release his mask, just it's going to release it, but grabs his phone and is like, wait a minute. He looks and sees pictures. This guy was staking him out. Who wants to kill him? And so that's the big mystery. For him, there's the bank robbers. You don't have to kill during the purge. You can rob a bank.
Yeah.
I was like, that's brilliant. Every year they rob a bank. And there's a society that they have all these Circuit City cameras out, and it's the government, and they're watching people, and they're trying to wait till 7 because it's when 7 o'clock hits. If they're still caught doing anything illegal, they're gonna bust you, death penalty. And they get mad because there's this group of robbers who always rob banks, and they're like, no, they're taking away tons of money this time. And so they're always hoping to catch them, and they never do. But one of the members gets a little greedy when the siren's blaring. He goes back to grab that last bag. his foot was on the line, and book him. So they can only arrest one of them. The rest of them weren't because the other one looks up at the camera and just kind of smiles because the time's up and he's outside the bank, so he's okay. It's not trespassing. He stole this money during the purge. It's all his. That's how he makes his money every year. I love
That's good.
love that. And so now the next year is planned for the next big heist. And the government's always trying to make sure whichever bank it is to warn them so they can save up that, because they don't want to lose all that money. It's great. Robbing. You don't have to kill during the purge. You can rob. I was like, this is great. We've never seen this before. Who are the other? All the characters are just good. I can't remember who else. Oh, there's a girl. There's also a girl that's in the government who one of her friends. She sees one of her friends get gunned down. She said, "What happened? Who would want to purge her?" And then there's a little secret. She downloads files and she starts learning that the purge doesn't make people sane. Mm-hmm. It's not lowering the numbers. They're just hiding the number of deaths to make it look like the purge is successful. And so she uncovers this conspiracy. Then the government shuts out her access and they hunt her down. She has to run. She's on the run from the government now, So kind of like the Matrix, all the Agent Smiths are looking out for her. She's on the run. Number one fugitive. Another great one. 2 college kids on a dare because they're in a fraternity. They have to go out during the last few hours of the purge and take pictures with a bunch of dead bodies, And so supposedly there's something called Suicide Bridge where people always commit suicide. So they have to go to Suicide Bridge, which is a couple blocks down the road, take a picture and then run back. That's their rite of passage. So they're running. They're super scared. They take a picture. They run, and then they hear a girl calling for help, and they look into the gas station. She's just sitting there tied up by the car. Like, what's going on? Well, then it's a trap, and one of the college kids gets stuck, and he gets drug under, and then the gate falls down, and he's like, the guy's screaming at the gate. He's like, let me out, help me. And his buddy goes, me, and runs, and leaves him there. And then here comes the guy in the mask and the knife, But what happens is, as he's scared, the college kid's just crying, and he's got him on the thing. Well, then he turns the tables and kills him. Well, then he just gets super mad. He's just stabbing. He's mad. And so he's covered in blood. It damages his psyche. Mm-mm. All he can think about is hurting people. And so he's becoming a killer now.
He's ready for the next purge.
And the thing is, he's taking out his anger on video games, VR. He's killing people virtually. That's not working. He's going to places where he can kill cattle, to get out his anger. That's not help. Nothing's helping. He just imagines killing people, and that's so nice. Just to watch the life drain out, watch them fear. Now they're afraid of him. He's not the fraidy cat. Well, anyway, he just gets mad at a farmer on the side of a deserted road, decides to kill him, and then goes, "Oh my God, what have I done?" Well, then the news comes up, and the police found him. And he's like, "Oh, I'm busted," because there's blood, there's fingerprints. He's like, "Oh," and what happened is they said he died of a heat stroke. Mm-hmm. And he just kind of I was like, what? And he realizes that all of his murders are being covered up by the government because they don't want you to know there's murder. And then he gets too sloppy where there is murder now. They can't hide his murders. And he becomes a serial killer. To be honest, every storyline is really, really interesting. Really interesting.
That looks like they take the purge idea and the places it needs to go.
And the thing is, though, I was thinking they should have made a movie out of this. Because it shows you what happens the day after. There's a cleaning crew that comes in, which they show it in the Forever Purge a little bit too, which they connect the two. But they have the cleaning crew come in. They're cleaning up the houses. They're putting the bodies out by the garbage. There's a body pickup thing on the second or third day after they count everyone up. There is and these are just little intros that they don't go into, but it tells you something about the purge. And it's like, hey, Memorial Day. Memorial Day is. We thank everyone who's been purged. And it shows this guy just like he's in a suit and everything, driving a UPS-like van, taking a package out. All the boxes look the same, scanning it, going up, knocking on the door, and hand it to a mom and dad, and they go, their son died. It says, thank you for your son's sacrifice. And it has a picture of him in a little urn where his ashes are. But then you go to he empties, he gets the last box while they're, you remember that guy on the radio? This is our time to purge. This is our time. We want to thank you for today's Memorial Day, where we thank everyone, or Remembrance Day, or whatever. Well, then he goes back into the warehouse to get some more boxes. They kind of show the warehouse as people in a factory just grabbing pictures, shoving them in the box, closing the box. And then there's people with shovels of ashes. It's not even your loved one's ashes. They just burned all the body and shoveling ashes, and then put it on a conveyor belt where it gets where it gets shoveled. You know, like you scoop up nuts at a grocery store. They scoop them up and they kind of tap it into urns and cap it and put it in the box. It's all generic. It's all manufactured boxes. It's hilarious. They show interesting things like, you know, for the next 48 hours, anything including murder. Blah, 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 blah. It showed her, the voice actress. At first, I didn't know it was her. She went, "Okay, here I go." I always imagine her as a hoity British, and they went, "Okay, fine." She goes, "Okay, here we go. Attention for the next." And it's the announcer's like, "Oh wow, it's the voice of the lady who does it. That's funny because you don't see her face." And he goes, "Everything excluding murder." And one of them goes, "Could you look back over that again? I believe the word is including murder." She went, "Oh right, sorry." And she went, "Hey, I'm not telling people that murder's okay, right?" And they went, "Just keep reading." And she went, "Blah blah blah." And she went, "How'd I do?" She went, "And what's this for anyway?" And that's how. And then it goes purge. You know, there's some great points. And then the guy who's on the radio in some of the movies, they actually show him because they actually show him in the radio station. And he's talking about how the purge is, and he has someone who is pro purge, the founding fathers. You know, she's a member of the founding fathers, and then you have someone who's against the purge. Purge is crazy. It's insane. And he's having them battle it out. And blah, blah. And the girl goes, the founding father goes, "Well, maybe, have you ever experienced a purge?" And she went, "No, are you crazy? That's barbaric. I would never do that." She went, "Well, perhaps I should show you the experience this year." And he goes, "All right, folks, we'll be back after this commercial break." And he turns like, "Ladies, that's fantastic. I could have you on every night." And the ladies like, they was like, "Did you hear that? She just threatened to kill me. Did you threaten to purge me?" She went, honey, chill." She said, "Look, have you checked your Purge app lately?" He went, "The Purge app?" Yeah, you got to download this Purge app. It shows you how many people want to purge you. And she goes, "Look," she's like, "It has 207. They said, "Oh, wow, you went up 201 second." She's like, "You just went up 200. Good for you." She went, and the founding father lady goes, "I don't want to brag, but," and she shows her phone, "I just hit 1 million the last month." I thought that was and that has nothing to do with the episode, just a little bit of we see little different aspects of the purge, and that's a good idea while we're going with it. Now they left it on not a cliffhanger, it ends, but definitely is wide open for more, you know, definitely wide open for more. It's kind of like a Firefly, a Serenity. They hit the radio button
that
goes out everywhere. They expose the government for who they are, and at 7:01 she gets executed live and they realize, 7:01 she was shot. So there's a resistance to the purge, resistance to the founding fathers. Now we're gonna take them down. Well, that resistance means nothing because in Forever Purge, obviously they knew about the TV show. They said it was an uprising, but then the founding fathers took back control and the purge is back. And I was like, that's fun. They kind of connected the two. The best cameo is at the very last episode. If you
go ahead.
Ethan Hawke.
Oh, he comes in.
He's just at the beginning because the guy's having a problem with the government system. He's like, "Hold on, let me call someone." And he video Skype someone, and it's Ethan Hawke. He went, "What's the problem?" He said, "Don't worry." He said, "Hey, I designed these. What could go wrong?"
So they're prequels to the first movie. Yeah.
That was a flashback to the very first Purge, and Ethan Hawke's the guy who designed the. Yeah. And I was like, that is now he looks older, obviously, because years have passed. But the thing is, though, how awesome that he came back just for one scene and you could tell because he's probably in a studio by himself. He's talking to someone on the phone. So they just filmed it for real quick, paid him a buttload of money, and said thank you. But that he came back to reprise that character, that's pretty special.
I get when actors do that.
All right, another one that we saw. Nobody. I told you Nobody. If John Wick is the Avengers, Nobody is like Captain America.
Yeah.
It's good, not quite John Wick, but great. I love Nobody.
And the thing is, I could say this and frame it another way, and this is not an insult, but it's kind of like Frozen for middle-aged men. It's wish fulfillment fantasy. It's wish fulfillment fantasy.
It is good.
It's when you're frustrated with your wife, this is what you wish your life really was. It's like, honey, what I really am is this. So I'm just pretending to be a goofball, but I'm really, really cool.
I did have someone tell me that they love Nobody more than John Wick. I said that's blasphemy, but it's okay because I love Nobody. I don't think it's John Wick, but I loved it. I loved it, and it's from the same writer, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know who on the crew, but it's some of the same people.
It's a fun. This is a
fun.
really fun
Very
movie,
fun.
and we were laughing about this a week ago. But this is the only movie that makes Christopher Lloyd is 93 or 92. I mean, honestly,
He's 90 death.
he's 90 death, and they edited this film so well around him.
He was funny.
He's great. His little in his sofa action scene is one of my favorites in the movie.
When the nurse checks in on him.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Everything. Yes, he's got this barrel. It's so good. It's so good. And then when he's going around shooting, the real Christopher Lloyd, I saw him a few years ago. He did a guest star appearance with Michael J. Fox of Back to the Future, and he was leaning against the car. I mean, he had trouble walking and standing. But as he was walking around shooting, they edited it just right to make him look not decrepit. Now, I'm not making. I love Christopher Lloyd. I love that he was in this. He's in it as the guy's father, who's an ex
government agent
or whatnot. And
he's the guy who's sitting to clean up stuff.
Never mind. He's 82. He looks like he's in his 90s now. Okay, so 82, still going strong. I didn't know he was that. But Harrison Ford is only 4 years younger than him. Jeez,
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I would not have guessed that. He's always looked old. But Christopher Lloyd at 80, and he was probably 80 when the movie was made. But man, at 80, he had it going on. He did. Fun. He really did. Liam Neeson is looking at him going, "I'll be able to do that at 80, and do my own stunts too." But no, I really love. Nobody is definitely worth your time to see.
It's a lot of fun.
I don't
want to give any spoilers, but if you
won't do spoilers for nobody.
If you like
that's
John
a solid
Wick,
film.
it's John Wick for middle-aged men.
Yeah,
who want to pretend that they're more than what they're.
Yeah, and you will enjoy it. If you love, it's not a John Wick ripoff. I don't think that at all. No. It's not that at all. It's in the vein of John Wick.
It can almost fit in the same world.
It can fit in the same world. But it's great.
Different.
It's great. Different type of action, very unique, very John Wickish. Like I said, it's the Captain America to the Avengers.
Well, like one of the things I liked about it was, he's living a life pretending to be a loser dad, right. But he's like when he gets pushed to the edge, he's like wanting it to happen. You could see the actors. It's like just do it. Just make me do it. Make me do it. And just he wants to let it out, but he's holding back at all times and looking for excuses to not let it out.
I love it.
Even when it makes him look bad in front of his family.
I love it.
Really, the part that I laughed at the most was when he found the kitty bracelet under the couch. Because that was the set off for the whole mayhem. And my first thought was that little girl did a little girl thing.
Yes.
And
yes.
So none of it should have happened, except he wanted it to happen, but he was looking for the excuse,
and that was his excuse. It's like Annabelle, your daughter, lost her teddy. You see it. One of the bad guys accidentally clipped one of the bear's ears, and you're like, you know what? My little girl didn't deserve this. I'm going to kill you all.
No, it wasn't that. It was like some people broke in, stole something from the house. She said it was where that stuff was. And so it was like, I'm going to go sit. Because she's the only one that showed him respect. His son was disrespecting him. His wife was disrespecting him. His little girl, his little precious baby girl was all snuggled with daddy.
I know.
And so when she lost something, he had to fix it. But of course, it was just under the couch.
It's so great. It's so great.
Which is where I knew it was going to be.
It's so great.
I also thought it was really funny. Every time he would start telling his backstory to the bad guys, they would just die.
Yes! I love that. There's so... Honestly, this movie is so smart. It'll make you laugh. It's downright hilarious. Hilarious. And I love it. I love it. It's a really good film. Really solid film. Real quick, expectations for He-Man.
High hopes.
High hopes.
High hopes.
Is it true that He-Man's not in it?
I do hope that it will be as good as it should be.
As good as it should be.
I hope it's as good as the toys. The toys for it that have come out so far, fantastic.
You're a big He-Man fan.
Yes, I am.
Are you thinking? Or are you just wishing?
Please, Netflix, do not do He-Man what you did with She-Ra.
Yep.
I will bring upon the purge.
That will be equivalent to the kitty bracelet.
Oh my goodness!
You're going to nobody. So
I think it's
because they're touching something that's near and dear to your heart.
It's yes.
You love you some He-Man.
The trailers look good.
They just need to follow through.
I just don't trust Netflix.
Nope, you shouldn't.
But the trailers look good, and Kevin Smith can make fun stuff.
Yeah. So what could go wrong?
Everything can go wrong.
Oh well, we'll have to see. When does that come out?
Well, by the time this thing airs, I will have watched them all.
Okay, so next time we'll have you back on. You'll talk about what you thought about
He-Man. If I don't show up next episode, you know how I feel.
I know how you feel. Oh, I can't wait. All right, folks. We'll see you next time on Princes of the Universe.